to log in as a faculty member, to log into Chalk and Wire, you go into www.chalkandwire.com/MU Ohio. Once you get in there, if it's your very first time to use Chalk and Wire, you're going to enter your unique ID.
So this is the same unique ID as my Miami unique ID.
Correct.
Okay.
And then the very first time, and that's the ID you'll always use. The very first time, if it's your very first time to use Chalk and Wire, you are going to use your default password, which is your 2-digit birth month, 2-digit birthday, and the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. If you've already used Chalk and Wire, you'll just enter your password that you set up. Once you enter that password, you'll click on Enter. Ignore this down here where it says, are you a new user? You are already considered a user. You have an account. You don't have to do anything with this.
Because you've already added us in.
I've added all the faculty in as users, as assessors, and I've connected them to their different departments. So once you've entered the password, whether it's the default or one you've set up, you click Enter. If it is your very first time, the first thing you should do is to go up here where your name is, use this drop down, click on Change Password, and go in and change your password to a password that you want to use. It can be your Miami password if you want it to be. Doesn't have to be. Chalk and Wire, unlike Miami, will not ask you to change the password. Okay. So, to get started when it comes to assessing student work on Chalk and Wire, your students first have to submit the work to you. And they know what that process is, and there's also a video available for them if they would need to see that. But they submit their work to you. When you come to this page, which is called your dashboard, you will see over here on the left pending assessments.
Is this, when I log in, I always see this page first.
You will always see this page first unless you want to go into Chalk and Wire and set up a different page. But this is always the page that you would see.
And what are all these things I see here on the left?
Okay, this shows pending assessments, due today, due the next day as an assessor. Listed here are the actual assignments that students have turned in to you. And what I've done is I've just submitted some dummy assignments to myself.
So I noticed it says under the student column, it says Teresa McGowan.
But
so
if it were
literally, those would be names of my students.
Names of your students. So you can see, and then this is telling you what rubric they've submitted against. Okay? So, and what I did was I submitted against a number of rubrics just to show this to you.
I got you.
But you can go in here and immediately begin assessing your students by coming over here and click Assess. Okay. And when you do that, what you will see here is the student work. Their name will be over here.
So the student work's on that's on the right-hand side? This is
the
stuff that they typed in?
This is what they typed in or copied and pasted in, or sometimes they'll just upload an artifact.
Okay.
Sometimes, depending on what you instruct them to do, they might just, especially if you've already scored the assessment, they might just say, I've already turned my work in. Okay. And then over here you have the rubric. Okay. Now, you have a number of little icons here. This is for the table of contents for the portfolio. This means that you're on the assessment. This will give you information about the assessment as of right now, which there would be no information because you haven't started to score it. User submissions. This is a link that will allow you to get the next student. Okay.
Is that new? I don't remember that.
No, that's been there for this past year. Pools with pending assessments, this probably won't apply to you unless you're part of a pool of people, and we've only done that with student teaching. This will also is a way to get to the next assessment. This would give you all assessments that have been turned into you, regardless of which rubric. This will show you which ones you've completed. pending assignments if you're using this for assignments, and assignments are different from assessments. And then finally, completed assignments.
Our assessments, they're like key assessments for Incate.
Right,
Whereas
exactly.
assignments are things I create
Right.
for my
For your
class
own
outside of
class.
that.
Right. And now Chalk and Wire does have an option where instructors can use Chalk and Wire to have their assignments posted and submitted on Chalk and Wire and scored if they so want to do that. But that's a whole different process.
Would you be willing, you know, you said when I clicked over there, there was an assessment, that little icon.
This for pending for instrument.
Yeah, like if you click on these, what actually happens?
Well, if I click on this, here are other assignments that were other assessments that were turned in against the same rubric.
Oh.
And then, but this one will show me pending for any
for
rubric,
all of them.
for all of the rubrics, okay? And then you can come here and you can filter it to get the rubric that you want.
Okay.
Many instructors for key assessments only have one assessment turned in their class, but many others have 2 or 3 or 4 assessments. And a lot of times they're turned in more toward the end of the semester. So it's easier to go through and put the scores in for one type of assessment at a time than it is for another.
I gotcha.
But if I come back here, there's the assessment.
So that takes me back to the
Right.
page that shows initially.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And so now here's the rubric. So these are the criteria that were set up, and then this is the rubric. And if you mouse over the scores, it will tell you, it gives you what the rubric says for each of those scores. Now, if you don't want to see that, all you have to do is come up here and click Delay Details, and then when you click over it, you don't get that. And all you do to score a student's paper is you click here, give them a score, you can write a comment.
Show me right, if you click on that little talk bubble, it gives me a space to type in.
It allows you to write. You'll delete all that.
You can just type whatever you want there, right?
This is good. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you just come back here and click it again, and it'll close it.
Gotcha.
Okay? And then it turns green to show you that you have written a comment. If you're actually grading on Chalk and Wire, you can come in here as you're reading student work, and you read something, you can highlight it.
Yeah, how do I make a comment over there?
And then it allows you to make a comment.
So did you just literally highlighted it and that popped up by
Right,
itself?
and that popped up.
You didn't have to like click add comment or
No,
anything.
this is I'm writing this comment, and then I just come down here and I say, save it as a regular comment. You can also point out grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes if you want to.
I'm intrigued by this one right here.
And you can also do it as an audio comment, where you would actually click on this and then speak to the computer. And when the student gets it back, they will actually hear your voice.
Gotcha.
Chalk and Wire highly recommends using that feature. When students get this back, once you've finished assessing it, they can mouse over the highlight and it will show them what the comment is. The comments are also kept at the bottom of the page.
If you were to create a audio comment,
yes,
where does that appear off to the side or how?
To tell you the truth, it's been so long since I've done that, I can't remember. So we'll try it.
While you're reading my mind.
Yes.
It's probably allow, right?
Say allow requesting access to your camera and microphone. If you click allow, you may be recorded.
Okay.
This is a really good idea, Todd. I think you understand it completely.
Oh, you want to click record?
Oh, sorry, I do. This is a really good idea, Todd. I think you want to pursue that. And then stop, and then save it. Okay.
Okay.
And then save audio comment.
Sweet.
And then there must be something that happens when they get it back. I'm not sure how. Oh, so they come down here, and it says play audio.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna guess you're gonna hit the play button.
This is a really good idea.
Oh my
Todd.
God, it
I think
worked.
It does.
Did we
will
rehearse this
pursue
ahead of
that.
time?
No, we did not
And it
rehearse this
worked
ahead of
beautifully,
time.
didn't
You
it?
can tell that we didn't rehearse it ahead of time.
No, but that's the stuff I normally do. I accept,
Yeah,
I click,
yeah,
play,
yeah.
not hard.
And Chalk and Wire really recommends using the audio comment. There are evidently less glitches with that than with the other commenting feature. One thing I will say is Chalk and Wire did a major upgrade last fall, fall of 2012, and a lot of the glitches that we ran into the first couple of years using Chalk and Wire, those disappeared. So back to the scoring. So you would enter scores for all of these. And then, and I'm not going to do all of them because this is just a sample. The other thing that you can do if a student has trouble with something, you can actually browse your desktop to upload an article maybe or a paper that you would want them to read to give them some further explanation. You can also write an overall comment. Here, each of these balloons are letting you write comments on each individual criterion, but down here you could write an overall comment. And once you've completed assessing it, you have to save it. You have to make sure that you save it.
I'm noticing this big strip, this gold bar.
Right.
That's there to remind me to save?
It absolutely is there to remind you to save, because if you don't do that, you'll lose the data.
Okay.
Okay? Then the other thing I do need to make sure you understand is that you have an option of either holding all of your assessments until you've entered scores for all of them, or you can notify students right away. So you have to choose this over here to either notify them, or you're not going to notify them, or notify them only when results are released. So you say yes, and then you need to come to here, and if your say results are available immediately, they're never available, or they're held until released. The held until released is about being able to go back in. You will see up here it says My Unreleased Assessments. If you hold your assessments, this number will increase, and then you just click on this, and it'll go to your unreleased assessments, and then you can release them all at the same time.
I have a question. Is releasing, is that releasing to students?
To students.
Or is that releasing also to Chalk and Wire itself?
Once you save, Chalk and Wire gets the information.
I got you.
Releasing has to do with giving it to students. So it's totally up to the instructor's discretion as to whether they release right away or they hold them until they've gone through and scored all of them.